Welcome to Dear Younger Me, a 10-part interview video series where we feature some of our very own VetTech alumni students who are currently working in various professional fields. We hope that these videos will give you a glimpse of the possibilities after you graduate for you to set bigger and bolder goals. Enjoy.
Hello everyone, welcome back to an episode of Dear Younger Me. I'm Keiko and
I'm Vera.
Today we have Sharon, who graduated top of a cohort with merit in 2014. Sharon is a hydrotherapist at Rehabvet, and she's also serving as an EXCO member at the Asian Association of Canine Hydrotherapists. Thank you, Sharon, for being with us today. Please give us a brief introduction of yourself.
Hi, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, so basically, as you mentioned, I graduated like 5-6 years ago from TP, and since then, mostly I've been involved in hydro, and in the more recent 2 years in rehab line. Yeah.
So starting with our first question, we would like to know why you went into hydrotherapy.
Okay, so actually, when I did the diploma, so basically, like most everyone, I basically wanted to be a vet. Yeah, so initially when I did the TP diploma, that was the original intention. Yeah, but along the way, and especially the year before graduation, I actually hooked up with this hydro center where I went down to volunteer first. I started more or less part-time because that time I didn't have the certifications yet. So actually the very first time I went down, it was like washing dogs and doing admin stuff. Yeah, so I found out more about hydro from there, and thought that it was really good, and really a field that wasn't very much explored at that point in time.
Tell us about your experiences as a small animal hydrotherapist.
So hydrotherapy is actually just one form of rehab, which is really good for many different conditions, but not all conditions. So actually in training to be a hydrotherapist, we were UK certified and trained. So we had actually exams and stuff as well. So you actually have to know about different orthopedic conditions. You have to go back to anatomy as you're doing in school now. Yeah, and all that. So basically, it's really interesting, and especially working with vets, to really see how hydro is able to help many animals with the conditions that they have, but at the same time also to realize that it may not be for all cases. Yeah, so basically you need to be quite well versed in what you're doing. Yeah.
So like you said earlier that you had actually volunteered beforehand. Will you say that like piqued your interest in hydrotherapy?
Yeah, so actually like to start it off, I actually saw this YouTube video or Facebook video, I can't remember. So it was about this dog that was born with swimmer syndrome. So basically, like the puppy like is born like all splayed, right, the legs. So I saw this video where it wasn't in Singapore, it was overseas video. So the puppy actually went and did hydro, then it got better, and eventually it could walk a little bit with support. So I thought, hey, cool. So I went to look up and see in Singapore whether we had such a thing. So that time I found this hydrotherapy center, and I went down and just started volunteering with them, and later doing part-time. So it was after being with them for about maybe 1 year or two that I decided to do the certification.
What would you say would be your most memorable experience from that volunteer part-time at the hydrotherapy clinic?
I think don't be afraid to start small because you don't know where it leads you. So I didn't really go in there thinking that I was going to be a professional hydrotherapist one day. Just like happy to work with animals and exploring options. Yeah, so literally did a lot of maybe people think it's not so glam work essentially, but you actually learn a lot. So yeah, actually for that center, even for people who wanted to train in hydrotherapy, they make sure that they were able to bathe dogs and handle dogs first. Because if you can't do the basic, then you can't be trusted with them in the water either.
That's interesting. So I'm sure a lot of us here are curious to know what a hydrotherapist does on a daily basis. So could you share with us?
Okay, we spend a lot of time in the water. Okay, but girls, don't worry because your hands are fine, my hands are fine. They are not like permanently wrinkled. Okay, I have a lot of girls who ask me that. So like, do you walk about with like mini hands? Okay, no.
Mhm.
Yeah, because once you come out of the water, that basically goes off. Okay, so I've dressed it for all the girls. Yeah. So basically it's really working with animals, but we need to read up on their cases as well. So for Rehabvet, they have in-house vets. So we always consult with them and work according to their advice. And we also get referrals from the animal's primary veterinarian. So I think the main thing people need to realize is that hydrotherapist is not just like in isolation. Yeah, we actually work as a community with vets out there, with owners, with other professionals, maybe physios and such. So everybody works together. So we should share the knowledge that we have with each other. So we ask for case history, medical history. We don't just dump any animal into the water. So if the animal is suitable to do hydro, then we will do first time slow intro to the pool. And yes, we swim cats as well. And hydro is not just pool. We also have underwater treadmill. So even if some animals are not suitable to swim in the pool, we can help them using the underwater treadmill. So that's basically like a normal land treadmill, but we fill it up with water basically. So other than that, it's basically just observing, working with the owners as well. And we also need to do notes after every session. Yeah, to keep records, to see how the patient is doing and to follow up. Yes. Less bland parts, like you need to study about pool maintenance, checking the chlorine, pH and all that as well. So yes, chemistry is important. Yeah.
So how can you tell if an animal is not suitable? Like, will they thrash around or maybe show fear?
Okay, so by suitable here, I meant more their medical conditions. So
Okay.
there again, it's important for us to work together with the owners. And okay, so for example, case in point, hydro is very good for animals with orthopedic conditions. Yeah, so for example, luxating patella, which is loose kneecap, or for example, hip dysplasia. So these are two of the most common conditions that we see. So for example, a hip dysplasia dog. So it may not go for surgery. It may just do conservative management, which is just hydro, and the leg may actually strengthen and improve. Not the dysplasia condition, but we build up the muscles basically, so the dog is better able to compensate. So on the other hand, a dog post-surgery may also come in for hydro, but it cannot start straight away. Yeah, so you may have to wait a certain number of weeks or do some land rehab first before it's suitable to even enter the pool. So this is what I meant by not every condition is suitable or is not suitable at that point in time.
So how does the water actually help?
Okay, so why hydrotherapy is so unique, not as the only form of rehab, but as a very useful form of rehab, is that basically in the water, the animal is non-weight bearing, yeah, and there's very low impact. Yeah, so for example, if you're recovering from a surgery or if the animal is in pain, you are able to actually work out with the animal in water, yeah, and to do to the amount that the animal might feel painful to do on land, or maybe it might actually aggravate the condition if the animal were to do it on land. And of course, the water is also heated. Yeah, so that's very good for circulation. That's also good for pain relief, basically. And there's resistance to build muscle.
Hydrotherapy is kind of like a old but new thing where it's becoming more common to send your pets for hydrotherapy. So where do you see the industry heading?
Okay, so basically it started in Singapore, if I'm not wrong, around about 2012. Yeah, so before that, we didn't really have hydrotherapists in Singapore. So now actually more and more people are realizing the benefits of swims for dogs. Yeah, so actually going forward, we're actually hoping to up the standards of hydrotherapy in Singapore and to continue to educate people, which is why some of my peers and we set up this AACH just now you mentioned. So it's Asia's actually first Canine Hydrotherapist Association. So we hope to get all the therapists to be able to join us. And so we will have something called RCH, which is a registered canine hydrotherapist. And we hope to work together, whichever center that they are from, really to be able to educate people more, owners more, about hydrotherapy in Singapore. So we hope that the industry will not just grow, but also will be properly regulated and be able to work to higher standards going forward.
Okay, so let's talk about your time in TP. How did whatever you learned and your life in TP help you where you are right now?
I think, of course, it was fun. I mean, not just the study part, yeah, but friends. Yeah, so we all have our closer group of friends in TP, basically, and everybody's doing something different today. Yeah, so I have classmates who are vets, who are vet techs, hydrotherapists, not yet. So I hope more of them will consider. Yeah, so basically, it's really cool because when you're there together, you just basically think lectures, tutorials, lab, net, and you don't really think about where you're going. But actually, I think a very important part is actually the bonds and the friendships that are formed, because these are the people that you will work with in the industry next time. And it really helps to have friends and to know people and to network. So yeah, please make friends in poly. And other than that, I think a lot of things that we studied, like maybe especially for vet tech. Okay, I think now it's probably gotten even better and changed quite a bit. But I remember, like, especially like in the first 1.5 years, we were like, where are the cool animals? Where are the surgeries? You know, like studying like mundane stuff. You know, studying like human stuff. It's not animal related, but actually all this is really important. I realized later. So it's really important to have a good foundation in the sciences, in anatomy and all that, because whatever line that you eventually go into, if you work with animals, it's really, really important. Yeah, like even for hydrotherapists or rehab, right? Like if you need to help the animal, you need to know which muscle is where, which bone is where. Yeah, so yeah. Sarah is a three-legged pom. Did I mention? I can't see.
Oh,
Yeah, so she's okay. She's not. Which way does she go? Yeah, she's actually three-legged. Yeah, she's
so cute.
stumpy leg because she was injured when she was young. Yeah, so I actually do some, okay, not hydro, but at home I actually do some land physio with her. Yeah, to help to take the stress off her back. Yeah.
What are some of the entry requirements to be a hydrotherapist or an animal wellness therapist?
Okay, so basically, for hydrotherapy, I'll speak more on that because that's my primary certification. So generally, for that one, actually, you can have the option of just doing the most basic hydrotherapist certification. Of course, they ask a little bit about your background with animals. Yeah, but actually, so in the past, we had to go over to the UK. But in recent years, the people that actually certified us in the UK, which is actually a veterinary and hydrotherapy center. It's a very renowned one in the UK and recognized in the US as well. They actually started running basic courses for a basic hydrotherapy cert annually in Singapore. So that might help people in a sense, like if you just want to try out the most basic certification, yeah, you can actually do it. So they don't require like you must have a degree or whatever. I think basically they assess you based on, of course, there are exams to pass and quite a lot of homework. I won't lie on that. Okay. So basically you have to clear all of that. They are quite strict to be able to get the certification. Yeah. And but of course, beyond that, there is diploma level as well. For that one, as of now, we've had to fly over to the UK to do it. Yeah, where you do more practical training and like more advanced theory as well. Yeah.
So we learned that you volunteered in South America. So could you tell us more about your experience volunteering there?
Yeah, that one was actually I think before I started TP. Yeah, so like was kind of thinking what to do. So there was a volunteer opportunity to actually work with children and teach a bit of English in South America. Yeah, so I just did it for a period of time. Like I flew there and back, basically more than once. And that was where I actually brought home my first dog. Yeah. So yeah, at that time he was 1. So I brought him back to Singapore and he just passed on at age 16. So that was kind of like discovering what I want to do phase while I was thinking through what to do next.
Why did you choose to take a diploma in vet tech and later on an advanced diploma in hydrotherapy for small animals instead of going to uni?
Okay, actually like 3 different things. So basically, if I had wanted to pursue something different that required a university degree, yeah, like, I mean, for example, okay, actually, I was offered vet science Yeah, I mean, for those who are curious, I was offered a Medoc. Yeah, but I didn't take it up because at that point, I think I realized that actually I was more interested in hydro and in rehab. So in terms of hydro, you don't need to do a whole university degree to practice in it. Yeah, so I mean, no point degree just for the sake of degree, I guess. Degree if it's something that aims towards where you hope to go, I guess. Yeah. So and since I already knew at that point in time, yeah, I just decided to focus more on hydro and on rehab.
Do you have any particular reason for your soft spot for geriatric pets?
Oh, okay. Basically, it's just me lah. I like old people and more. I don't hate young ones. Basically, I don't know. I guess like they're kind of more helpless. Yeah, in that sense. So even before I started working with them, I mean, I do work with a lot of aged animals, especially at Rehabvet. Yeah, we say like maybe 13 years old is quite young because I work with 15, 16. I think the oldest was almost 19. Yeah, so I mean, even before working with them, I just felt like it was like a group of animals that needed a lot of help. Some of them like didn't move so well, had pain and all that. And I think in the past, people always talk about quality of life. And sometimes they think that, oh, okay, they just have to put the animal to sleep. But like these days, there are so many more options and you can have a really good quality of life. I mean, not for every case, but a good number of cases. Yeah. And although they do pass on, I mean, eventually, but you can really see for some of them, even the last 1 or 2 years, we're able to work with them. Some of them actually started walking again or walking with aid. So I think that's like really, really rewarding. And of course, I had an older pom as well, the one that passed on at 16. Yeah. So I guess I lived with one.
Like you say, you work with a lot of older animals, right? So how do you cope with the loss when your patient actually passes on?
Yeah, I think it's difficult, probably for anyone in this line, whether you're a vet nurse, vet tech, physio, hydro rehab. Loving animal is one thing, right? But personally, I can't fully separate like emotions and what I have to do. So although I said I shouldn't get attached, I always end up getting attached. Okay, not to my own dogs, but to client dogs as well. But then again, I thought to myself, if I didn't feel for them so strongly, then maybe I'm in the wrong line. Yeah, so I think along the way, like I said, it's very, very sad when they pass on, especially those that you work with, maybe sometimes on a weekly basis or things like that. Yeah, so I've shed many, many tears. But on the other hand, you see the thank you notes that owners send you. Yeah, so some of the owners were like, thanks for making like her final year or something like that so wonderful. Like she was able to do things that she wasn't able to do previously or helping with her pain. So I think that's really, really rewarding because I mean, everyone and everything passes on, right? Obviously. Yeah. So, but I think it's the difference that you can make, especially the ones like if you see them in the final leg of their journey, to know that you can and actually did make a difference. Yeah.
What would you say are some important traits that it takes to be a great hydrotherapist?
I think, okay, I know this sounds a bit cliche, but I think you need to be a team player because within the clinic itself, a hydrotherapist is just one part of the team. Yeah, so like for example, we had vet, we work with the vets, we work with the other therapists and staff who are not hydrotherapists. So you can't sort of like function like, okay, I'm just going to do my own thing in the water and people can do their thing elsewhere. Yeah, so I think team play is really important. And as I mentioned before, we work with people outside of the clinic as well, right? Like vets and all that. Yeah, so you have to play nice and you have to realize that everybody is just one jigsaw piece in the picture. Yeah, it's not just you and you alone helping the animal. Then, of course, other than that, I would say things like patience, compassion, really does help. I'm currently working with a couple of dogs that have dementia. Yeah, so you do need a lot of patience with them. Yeah, because they may walk in the corner and get stuck there. During baths, they may try and like climb up the wall or shampoo rack or things like that. Yeah, so you can't really just do it because it's cool or you kind of like like animals, but I think you really need not just the heart, but really the perseverance and I think compassion to really work with them and try to see things from their perspective and the owner's perspectives. Of course, some owners, it's not easy for them as well. Like if they have to take care of very aged dogs or immobile dogs. So sometimes the owner doesn't mean to be harsh. Yeah, but they're just very concerned about the dog. So yeah, we try to make friends with owners as well. Yeah, and normally with some investment, it's really cool. I really enjoy working with a lot of the owners that are our regulars.
So for the final question, do you have any advice for your younger self?
Don't be afraid to follow your dreams. Yeah, I think I mean, of course, your family and friends, and don't be afraid to explain your dreams to people around you. Yeah, because sometimes people may not see it right away. Yeah, so I mean, several years back, working in the animal industry or even hydro is even less known than it is now. So of course, people will ask like, are you sure you want to do this and all that? So I mean, don't be rude, don't be hostile, but I think don't be afraid not just to pursue your dreams, but to explain your dreams and to share your passion with people around you who care for you and want to support you. Yeah. And it's never too late to pursue your dreams.
So that's it for today. Thank you so much, Sharon, for joining us. If you enjoyed our video today, we have more videos coming along. So remember to follow us on our Instagram at TPVWC or subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay updated. Thank you. Thank you for watching this episode of Dear Younger Me. We hope that you have learned more about the animal hydrotherapist profession. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel where we will be posting more videos about other professions.